You know, I was hoping that until no one is going to ask that question. Because I have to retort and say, what answer do you want? A diplomatic political answer or an honest one? The first position, which is the official position, which President Mbeki stuck to, is that he seek not to govern from the grave. He's quite convinced that the people of South Africa have made their own choices of the sort of people they want them to be. Late last year, we were invited then by a very, very big church. And the people in that church, it shall remain nameless because it's on confidentiality. They didn't even allow us to sit down. And they said, President Mbeki, we've got a problem with this attitude of yours that you can't govern from the grave. Because you can see the trouble we are in as a country. And actually, in the end of that meeting, President Mbeki asked the bishop to pray for us. And in the prayer, and I'll quote that prayer directly, although some of you might have read the Bible, but there's a prophet in the Bible, Habakkuk. And Prophet Habakkuk is one person that decided to have a serious confrontation with God. So the bishop was like having this serious confrontation with God. And he was saying to us, God, you have asked us to continue to preach hope to these people. And we had a hope for a free South Africa. And in the end, you provided us with leaders like Mandela and Mbeki. And they made sure that our congregation believed in us because this leadership of yours provided that hope. Now I'm asking you, God, why have you allowed us to be led by the blind people and thieves? And this is the bishop saying this. And in the end, President Mbeki says, Max, what must we do with this prayer? It's not the sort of prayer we were looking for. But as we were digesting the prayer, then Andile, to answer you directly, President Mbeki raised concern about deepening racism in the country. He raised a concern about the deepening levels of inequality. He raised concern about the levels of despondency, especially amongst the young people. He raised concern about the sense of hopelessness that we were witnessing in the village that we were in. Particularly, he raised concern about the seeming directionless that our nation is taking. He raised concern and he wrote about this when he was writing the letters about the attack on the institutions of democracy. And in the end, when we launched the book, and in his conversation with President Masire, he raised concern about the standing of this country in the continent and in the world. That we are possible not playing the role that many countries in this continent expected us to play. That we are being asked as we travel around the continent very difficult questions that we are unable to answer. that in many instances, even if we stand up in public platforms, people are no longer taking us serious.